All right, so picture this. You're gearing up for a school administrator interview.
And you really want to nail it, right?
Exactly. You want to knock it out of the park. But how do you go beyond those typical canned responses and really showcase your strengths?
That's what we're diving into today. We're dissecting some awesome advice from interview expert Joshua Brown over at How to Become.
His YouTube video is seriously a gold mine for anyone in education.
We're going to break down not just what his strategies are, but why they work,
Love that. So he starts with the classic, tell me about yourself.
which seems deceptively simple.
Right. Like, oh, I got this.
But it's your first impression. And Brown emphasizes ditching the personal stuff and going all in on professional skills.
Makes sense they want to know you can handle the job.
Exactly. But here's where it gets interesting. He says to use the exact terms and phrases from the job description.
Oh, I like that. It's like you're speaking their language from the get-go.
Precisely. It shows you've done your research, you understand their needs.
You're not just throwing applications
Mhm.
at any open position.
And Brown actually gives an example of a top-scoring answer in the video, and it's all about confident delivery, weaving in skills like organization, communication, a passion for education.
It's a perfect blend of showing them you're qualified and enthusiastic.
Exactly. He gets that being a school administrator isn't just one thing. You're a leader, a communicator, a manager. You have to demonstrate all of that, and this is your chance.
Okay, so you've nailed that intro. What's next?
Brown says those why this job, why you questions are guaranteed to come up.
Makes sense. They're trying to figure out your motivations, your fit.
It's classic for a reason. They want to see how you align with the school's culture, their values, all of that.
And what does Brown suggest?
He says emphasize that passion for education because, obviously, but back it up with concrete skills. Leadership, project management, whatever's relevant.
Show them you've got the chops.
Yes, and here's a nugget that I really loved. When he talks about why this job, he says to mention fostering a positive environment and making a community impact.
Because it's about so much more than just the day-to-day logistics, right?
Absolutely. They want someone who sees the bigger picture, someone who gets that education, impacts the entire community. They need to feel that investment from you.
It's about showing them you're not just there to punch the clock, you're there to make a real difference.
Exactly. And speaking of making a difference, a little further on, Brown brings up a question that's so on point. How do you keep yourself organized when you have multiple projects?
Oh man, juggling multiple responsibilities. That's practically a given for a school administrator.
Right. And his advice here is pure gold for anyone in a demanding role. He suggests a structured approach, prioritizing tasks, utilizing tools like calendars and project management software.
Oh, my project management software is my lifeline. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Right. And he's also a huge advocate for breaking down those massive projects into smaller, more manageable steps, setting clear milestones along the way.
Because those big, overwhelming tasks become much less daunting when you break them down, for sure.
Exactly. And he emphasizes the importance of clear communication.
Can't forget that. Communication is key in any role, but especially in education.
Right. And this is a big one, delegation. Knowing when and how to delegate effectively.
Delegation, that's a skill in itself.
Yeah.
Knowing you can't do it all alone and being able to trust your team.
It's about leadership, trust, and maximizing efficiency. He's basically giving you a framework for success, even if you don't get asked that exact question. Having those organizational strategies will absolutely serve you well as a school administrator.
It's like he's saying, look, I know this job is a lot, so let me give you the tools to handle it.
Exactly. It shows you can handle the heat, you've got systems in place, and you don't crumble under pressure.
Okay, so we've tackled the tell me about yourself, the why this job, why you, and that all-important organization question. What else does Brown have up his sleeve?
Okay, so get ready because Brown throws in the section he calls a rapid fire round, where he lists a whole bunch of other questions you might get hit with.
Rapid fire. Okay, so like no pressure, right?
Yeah, exactly. But it's actually really helpful because it highlights how many hats a school administrator wears.
Totally. It's not just one job. It's like 100 rolled into one.
He covers everything from career goals to conflict resolution, implementing policies, communication styles, handling pressure, budgeting experience, even staying updated on trends. I mean, it's a lot.
It's like he anticipated all the curveballs they could throw at you.
Exactly. And we obviously can't go through every single question here.
Right. That would be a whole other deep dive.
Right. But there are a couple that I think are worth digging into a bit deeper.
Oh, I love a good deep dive within a deep dive. Hit me.
One that really stood out to me was about supporting teachers' professional development.
I wouldn't have necessarily thought of that one off the top of my head, but it makes total sense.
Right. It's not just about managing the school, it's about building up your team, investing in their growth.
It shows you're invested in them as educators, not just seeing them as cogs in the machine.
Exactly. You're fostering a culture of continuous learning and improvement, and not just for the students, for the teachers, too.
And I bet that's huge for attracting and retaining good teachers.
Oh, absolutely. A school that prioritizes professional development.
Yeah,
That speaks volumes to potential hires.
for sure. What was another one from the rapid fire round that you wanted to unpack a bit more?
So this one might seem obvious, but Brown really emphasizes the importance of having a system for handling tough decisions.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's be real. Difficult decisions come with the territory, right?
Oh, absolutely. You're working with students, parents, teachers, staff. Everyone's got different needs and perspectives.
And sometimes those needs clash, and you're the one who has to figure it out.
Right. And Brown doesn't just say, be prepared to make tough decisions.
Yeah.
He talks about the importance of having a clear process, a framework for how you approach those decisions.
So it's not just about what you decide, it's about how you get there.
Yes. Being able to articulate your thought process, the factors you considered, who you involved in the decision-making, it shows leadership.
It shows you're not just reacting emotionally, you're being thoughtful and strategic.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating that you can handle those high-pressure situations.
Okay, so we've got supporting professional development, we've got navigating tough decisions. What else?
This one might seem like a given, but Brown brings up the importance of staying current on educational trends and technology.
Which, duh, education is constantly evolving.
Exactly. New research, new tools, new challenges emerging all the time. You've got to be adaptable.
You can't just rest on what worked 10 years ago. You got to keep learning and growing.
Schools need administrators who are forward-thinking, who are excited about innovation.
You want to show them you're not stuck in the past, you're ready to move education into the future.
Right. You got to show them you're on top of your game.
And speaking of being on top of your game, this actually leads into what I thought was the most crucial point Brown made in that whole video.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
He said, it's not enough to just know those generic answers, those textbook responses that anyone could give. To really stand out, you need to demonstrate a deep understanding of the specific school, the specific needs, the specific values.
So it's not just about prepping for an interview, it's about prepping for that interview.
Exactly. Doing your research on the school itself.
Because every school's got its own unique culture, its own challenges, its own goals.
Right.
And they're looking for someone who gets that, who gets them.
So how do you actually do that? How do you connect the dots for them in the interview?
Well, you could start by looking at their website, see what their mission statement is, what initiatives they're currently running.
Read their newsletters, maybe?
Yeah.
See what they're highlighting, what's important to them?
Exactly. You can even look up recent news articles about the school, get a feel for the community's perspective.
Because it's about showing them you're not just there to fill a position. You actually care about their school.
Yes, you're invested. You're not just going to give some canned speech about loving kids. You're going to talk about how your specific experiences and skills align with their goals.
So it's like you said it earlier, speaking their language.
Exactly. Show them you're already thinking about how you can contribute, how you can make a real difference for their students, their teachers, their community.
This has been such a great deep dive. So many practical tips. So for our listeners who are out there gearing up for those school administrator interviews,
What's the one thing you want them to take away from all of this?
don't just memorize answers.
Right. Don't just phone it in. Do your homework, dig deeper, research that school, understand their priorities.
And then really think about how your unique strengths can help them achieve those goals.
Exactly. That's what's going to make you stand out from all the other candidates.
Show them you're not just there to clock in and clock out. You're there to make a real difference.
Absolutely. Passion and preparation, that's the winning combo.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Of course, this was fun.
To all our listeners, good luck with those interviews. We're rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, you got this.